This week we finished the yearbook. June 1st was our deadline, and that means the books will arrive in early August. And so because of that, we got to include every single facet of the 2025-26 school year, including the very late stuff like prom, graduation, and spring sports that make it to state. But yeah, wrapping up the yearbook is the very first thing I do every summer, although the book I would say is probably 95% complete on the last day of school. There's always just loose ends that need to happen. But yeah, I've got broadcast. That's my other class. It's kind of like the perfect sort of opposite of yearbook. But yearbook and broadcast are the two classes that I have, staffs, I guess. And so I do this every year where I have the seniors bow. These are my yearbook seniors here. But it's a class that's near and dear to my heart. I was a yearbook photographer for 2 years in high school. I went to K-State because of its yearbook, the Royal Purple. In fact, I'll be going up for a reunion here in a couple weeks. But I just wanted to talk specifically about some of the pictures that will be in this year's yearbook. I feel like the style of photography is very different than you might put in a newspaper. It's definitely a different sort of feel with the editing, selection, rejection, sequencing, etc. of all the pictures. So this first picture is a lead-off image. I think it's page 4 and 5. It's a double truck image. That is Mark Cross. He's retiring. He has long been our sort of like leader at pep assemblies. I guess you could say maybe sort of like an MC. What I like about this is that it has so many faces, and I love that they're standing on the new floor of our gym. It's just a photo I really haven't seen before. I think they kind of got around him one last time. It was sort of his last pep assembly, and this was cool that we captured it. Nice picture by Riley Nance. Another picture here by Riley Nance. This is from Trojan Night, which I think is one of the coolest traditions anywhere in Kansas. It's a battle of the classes type event. Each class chooses a god or a goddess, and they do these cool outfits. They all do body paint, and it's just a bunch of fun field events. Seniors have won it by far the most. Although this year the juniors won it. So I'm still waiting for sophomores or freshmen maybe even taking it one year. But yeah, cool photo. Love this moment of the guy, Paul Evans, I believe that's his name, with his arms outstretched. Great expression. Nice shot. Now, I do have lots of photojournalism classes. That's sort of the entry into my program. Photojournalism is a real entry-level class. A lot of kids take it, go on to be yearbook editors. They go on to become great photographers. But anyway, Hannah Willard got a great shot. She's a freshman, and I think they were going out to shoot portraits. I think that was their assignment that week. And I believe that's Kate Ellis. I'm pretty sure that's her name. She's showing the back of her camera to Olivia Beeson. There's a picture of Olivia on the screen that she's laughing at. Great moment, and this is exactly the kind of thing that I want my photojournalism students to capture, so we can actually put this in the yearbook as well. Lucas Norton took this picture. The assignment was student life. Lucas was also in my photojournalism class. He was assigned, all of the students get assigned to a classroom. The teachers know that they'll be photographers for a couple days going out and capturing these kinds of moments. But he shot quite a lot. I think it might have been 300 or 400 pictures, but he worked it so hard and he just got this really great moment. I love how the composition, your eye can really just land on a lot of people's faces. I like how the teacher, Kate Loyal, and the student, Ethan Rodriguez, are kind of having sort of a dialogue. Great moment there, and just love to be able to put this in the sophomore section of the yearbook because those are all sophomores in the picture. This one is a funny story. Ethan Reddington shot this picture. This was for the student life assignment as well. But it's funny because Ethan Reddington is a student in this class, along with those guys that are sitting there. He was in a science class, and Griffin Hartman was the photographer who was assigned to come in and take pictures. Griffin's the guy who's standing there in the light shirt. And my understanding is that Ethan said, I know how to take pictures. And he, I guess, took the camera and got this moment. And I just love it. I just love the laughter. And we put this on one of the science class spreads in the yearbook, so Kind of a funny story, but yeah, that's actually Emil Rivero on the left. I'll talk about him here in a second. And I like this picture just because it's kind of understated. I think the composition is advanced. I like how my eye goes from the people on the left, then the people in the background, then the people at the table. This was a story about how students make money, so fundraisers and that kind of thing. And these bake sales are becoming really popular. So Sarah Gilbert, who took this picture, she was actually in my photojournalism and advanced photojournalism classes. But I asked her to take this picture one day. She's actually in my advisory class, which is a class that I have the same students for 4 years. And it was her senior year this year, and I just needed somebody to go out and get a picture of this bake sale. And so I gave her a camera, and I just thought this was a really nice, very subtle picture. I think it mimics her personality. She's kind of soft-spoken, but a picture that I'm very happy to see in the yearbook. This photo comes to us from Emma Jitterwaite, who was our newspaper editor-in-chief, and her older sister, Anna Jitterwaite, was a great photographer. I just like this because it's rain. It's really easy to kind of go with the real, golden hour student section and fall football game, but I like that we have a nice picture of the student section when it was rainy and they had the bags, and just kind of a different take on the student section that I hadn't seen before, especially with the cell phone flashlights. Speaking of the student section at a football game, that's what this is from. Aiden Dybel shot this. I like that he used a flash. It just kind of gives the picture a real heightened sense of contrast as a result. I often tell people not to use flash, but I think it really works here. Makes the pink pop a lot more. So just this is from a spread that we did on the kids who are in what's called Blue Crew. It's kind of like our student-led student section. They kind of decide all the themes of each home game and away game, all that stuff. I love the kids that are off in the background shouting. So yeah, got a nice pop to it. I would say swimming is notoriously difficult to get unique pictures. I think that it's really easy to just photograph the swimmers in the water. It's really hard to see the faces. What I like about this is that it has the A in the background. Our school's the Andover Trojans, and so it just kind of is a nice, got a strong sense of depth and a really nice sense of place to it. I think those flags at the top kind of are nice, kind of point your eye downward. We have a brand new swimming facility in our district, and it's just got a massive bank of windows, and so the pictures always are lit really well, and this was our dominant picture for the boys swimming spread, and it's just a lot different than what I typically see from swimming, so nicely done by Aiden Dybel. Another shot from Aiden of volleyball. Obviously, I think the sort of action of sports is just easy. It's all contained. I'm always much more attuned to whenever a student captures some kind of more sports feature type picture, and I think Aiden did just that here. Tells a little bit more about just the team dynamic and the friendships, and this was the dominant photo on our volleyball spread. We get to a point every sports season where we start to identify the last opportunity for us to be able to go get pictures of an event, and that's what Emil Rivero did for us. He actually was on newspaper this year. I don't teach newspaper, but I was so thankful that he got pictures at this rainy cross-country meet. Ended up just being so great to be able to add to the sunny pictures that we had gotten at other cross-country meets. I think that this picture really shows the kind of grit and determination that you see with those runners, just the real intense expressions as they're crossing the finish line. Anyway, Emil's got some other good stuff that's in our book I'll show you. And this is one of those pictures from baseball. Gosh, just about a month ago, this picture was taken. Again, everything I said about, it's not about the action, it's about the celebration. This is our dominant on baseball. And they had a good year. Anytime a season goes good for a team, we'll tend to do something like this as the dominant as opposed to the ubiquitous pitcher picture or the person swinging a bat. This is just great to have these other images to tell a different type of story. And a special shout out to Sean Mansour, who has taken all of the theater pictures for us this year. He is on the publicity crew. So anytime we have a play, he'll design the play program. He'll take the publicity photos. We always just use, basically they do sort of they pose these pictures. It's not from an actual performance. They do an actual photo shoot. It's just great because we can get in a lot better position. And I just love the drama in this picture. And I love how it's monochromatic at the bottom and then it gets really sort of fiery red up top. Just wonderful lighting. Just love it. And last but not least, I have to give a shout out to our district office communication team. Terry Rombach and Elena Kuckelman do a really good job getting to events. And oftentimes there's something that they get that I just am able to get it from them, and we're able to get this one in the yearbook. Now, of course, I had 2 photographers that were at this event called the Parade of Graduates. It's when the high school seniors go and they visit one of the 3 elementary schools that they would have gone to. I sent photographers to 2 schools, but I actually really like this one the best. I just felt like it had just an unexpected moment. So many times we send photographers and it's just, the graduates giving the little kids high five, but this was a nice moment that was kind of behind the scenes, I would say. But yeah, a couple other students I want to mention. They don't have any photos in this video, but Emerson Fuller was our Journalist of the Year. That's her in the middle, along with Katie Rages. She teaches newspaper and the journalism classes at Andover. She really pushed our broadcast class to new heights. Not only was she in broadcast, but she was also on Yearbook, but just really super talented journalist. I hope that she sticks with it. Maddie Wallace is another student. I would say she was an honorary staffer. She was really instrumental in kind of upping our social media game. She did some cool things with portraits of athletes in our studio. That's Emerson and Maddie there in the middle, along with Riley Nance and Aiden Dybel at our KSPA awards ceremony in early May, where we were named the top 5A school for photography. Just such a thrill, such an honor. And I think getting this award was really the impetus for me wanting to make this video, just really show kind of just some pictures that really stood out and I think are really good examples of what makes it a great place to teach.